everyone, it's Radhika. Welcome back to DataZard. I am back with a Power BI challenge which is around conditional formatting. So, without further ado, let's get started. Today, we are going to solve Power BI 2021 Week 7 challenge. This challenge includes data regarding ice coverage over US Great Lakes. For this, I have utilized data from the GitHub, which is an Excel file. So, I have already downloaded that file. Let's import it. And now we choose sheet 1 because that's where data resides, and clicking on transform data because first we need to transform it using Power Query. So in this Power Query editor window, we will right click on the year column and go to unpivot other columns so that we get all the lakes in one column instead of each lake having its own column. I am just going to rename attribute as lake and keep value as value, and I'm just going to click on close and apply. First visual that we need to build is a matrix. So I'm going to click on matrix visual. I'm going to add year in rows, lake in column. And for values, I'm going to create my own measure because we need to add star when there is 100% value of ice coverage. So for that, I'm just going to right click on the table, click on new measure and write it as value derived. And I'm just going to write it as if sum of value is equal to 100, then we write 100. And I'm just going to use a star symbol here. And if it is not equal to 100, then we just write sum of value. And now I'm going to bring this measure into values. Let's put it at the right hand side, full size table. So for formatting, first we need to turn off the column subtotals and row subtotals. Title of this visual should be maximum coverage by lake. Now we see all lakes as an option here, which we don't want in the visual. So I am going to place a filter on this page for lake. So let's bring this lake on filter on this page, select everything and then untick the all lakes checkbox so that it's removed from the table. Now we sort this by year and then sort descending. And now let's increase the width of these columns. So for that, I'm going to go to specific elements and increase the value decimal point to 6 digits. And then I'm going to go to column headers and turn off the auto width, auto size option. And then coming back to my specific columns, I'm going to decrease it to 1 decimal like it is in the visual. Now for font values, let's increase the font value to 14. Similarly for my row headers, let's increase it to 14. Let's just increase the size like that. And for column headers, again 14. We need to add conditional formatting to the background as well as to text. So we will go to specified column, cell elements, and turn on background color. Currently it is gradient, but in challenge we don't want it gradient, we want it as per a rule. So for that, let's click on this conditional formatting, go to rules. So we are going to do it on the basis of the column value and not our value derived measure. Reason being, value derived measure is a string value, and here for rule we need to have either a number or a percent. So we are using the column which was already in the data. And now for rules, I have used the same numbers that are given in the challenge. So it is already given in the challenge that first rule should be from 0 to 24.99 and there should be a color associated to it. Then next rule from 25 to 49.99 and so on. And then I have given them 5 different colors. Now I will click on OK. And this is how the matrix gets its conditional formatting. Now in a similar manner, we need to conditionally format the fonts. So for that, I'm going to turn on font, click on conditional formatting. Again, it's based on a rule from the value, and the rules are same as what they were for the background color, only difference being we just are using black and white for fonts. Clicking on OK, and this is how the matrix turns out. And if we look at 100, we have that star and we have conditional formatting as well. Next thing that we need to do is create slicer for ears. So I'm going to click on slicer, bring in ears, and adjust the size. Next, we create the line chart. This line chart will have ears on x-axis, value on y-axis. The only difference is this time instead of using a sum, we will be using average. So I am going to change the aggregation here and adjusting the size. Now there is a trend line, so I'm going to enable trend line. And for x-axis, I'm going to increase the size to 12. Let's first turn off the responsiveness, otherwise we won't be able to see the size difference. So like you see here now, after I turned off responsiveness, I can see 12 as font for x-axis. Similarly for y-axis, I'm going to give it 12 as font size. I'm going to increase the size of title. And then lastly, we create the column charts. So for that, let's choose column chart. On x-axis, we have lakes. On y-axis, we have values. But this time, instead of a sum, we need the maximum values. And turning on the data labels, it should be in the inside end. And increasing the size. We don't need the x-axis title. So turning off the title, increasing the size of x-axis values and increasing the size of y-axis values. And for visual title, it's maximum historical coverage, bringing it to size 18. We also need title for this slicer. So turning on the title, select a range of years. Let's push it down a bit and increase the size. And lastly, we will add a text box at the top. It says Great Lakes maximum ice coverage, percent coverage for 5 lakes from 1973 to 2020. Adjusting the font and arranging it. So I've just given it a background color from here and our dashboard is ready. This is how it looks like at the end. That's it for this one. I'll see you in my next one.